such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? Let's learn how to build a water house.
Round 1.
Okay, so I am starting my water house right now, and I think this is going to be a really cool build. A house made of water. How awesome is that? I am going to start with the foundation because every house needs a solid base to sit on. I am using lapis lazuli blocks for the foundation. Lapis lazuli is a deep, rich blue color that looks amazing and it fits perfectly with the water theme. Now for the walls, and this is where it gets really interesting. I am using water blocks from a mod for the walls of the house. These are special solid blocks that look like water, but behave like regular building blocks. They do not flow or spread like normal Minecraft water does. They just sit there looking like a cube of water. For the windows, I am using light blue stained glass. Light blue glass is slightly transparent and has a soft sky blue tint that complements the water blocks perfectly. The glass windows are lighter and more transparent than the water block walls, creating a subtle difference that lets you distinguish where the windows are. In real architecture, windows need to be visually distinct from walls so people can tell where to look out. Even though both materials are blue and somewhat see-through, the glass has a different texture and transparency level that makes the windows readable. Now I am building the roof on top, and I am sticking with the water blocks for this too. I am making a classic triangular gable roof shape, building the blocks up at an angle from both sides until they meet at a peak in the middle. A triangular roof is one of the most common roof designs in real architecture because the angled surfaces shed rain and snow efficiently. Water runs down the sloped surface instead of pooling on top, which prevents leaks and structural damage from water weight. Kind of ironic that I am using water blocks to build a roof designed to shed water. The triangular shape also adds visual height to the house, making it look taller and more impressive than a flat roof would. For the entrance, I am placing an oak door. Phew, it took so much effort. Great, my water house is ready.
Hello?
Hey, Banana Kid, look, I built it. Do you like?
No.
What? Could I have tried harder to build a bigger house?
Oh.
It's a pity, but I tried so hard. Maybe then you'll try to build the best water house yourself?
Yay!
They ran to the place. This is where your building will be. Are you ready?
Yahoo!
Then go ahead.
Round 2.
Banana Kid is getting started on his water house, and he is taking a different approach than what I did. He is placing water blocks to outline the base of the walls, creating the rectangular perimeter of the house. But now he is doing something interesting. He is digging down one block below where the house sits, removing all the dirt blocks underneath the floor area. He is clearing out the entire interior footprint, one block deep. That creates a sunken area inside the house, like a shallow pit or a recessed floor. In real architecture, sunken floors are used to create a sense of separation between the interior and exterior. When you step inside and step down, it psychologically signals that you have entered a different space. It also gives the interior a little more headroom since the floor is lower than the surrounding ground level. Now Banana Kid is filling that dugout floor area with lapis lazuli blocks. So instead of having a dirt floor, the house has a beautiful deep blue lapis floor. Lapis lazuli on the floor continues the water theme throughout the entire structure, and it looks really luxurious. A lapis floor is like having a floor made of sapphires. It is rich, blue, and gorgeous. The lapis also ties the floor visually to the water block walls above, creating a cohesive blue color palette from floor to ceiling. When you walk inside this house, you are completely surrounded by blue. Blue floor, blue walls, blue everything. It is like being inside an underwater bubble, which is perfect for a water house. He is now building up the walls using water blocks and light blue stained glass. Same materials I used, but in his own arrangement. The water blocks create the solid wall sections, while the light blue glass creates the window openings. Banana Kid is placing the glass panels at regular intervals along the walls so light can enter from multiple sides. Good natural lighting is important in any house design because it reduces the need for artificial light sources and makes the interior feel brighter and more open. At At the entrance, he is placing a door so the house can be properly sealed and entered. The door provides security and weather protection while still allowing easy access in and out. Now Banana Kid is building the roof structure on top of the walls using water blocks. He is creating a flat platform of water blocks that covers the entire top of the house. But instead of making a simple flat roof and calling it done, it looks like he has something more creative planned. A flat base is just the starting platform for whatever he is going to do next with the roof design. Okay, now this is getting really creative. Banana Kid is placing invisible blocks, barrier blocks, along the edges of the roof. Barrier blocks are completely invisible to the player. You cannot see them at all, but they function as solid blocks that nothing can pass through. He is creating invisible walls along the perimeter of the roof. Why would he do that? I think I am starting to understand. He is making invisible channels and guides on the roof to control where water will flow. If you just pour water on a flat roof, it would cascade off every edge in every direction, creating a messy, uncontrolled waterfall all around the house. But by placing invisible barriers in strategic locations, Banana Kid can direct the water to flow only where he wants it to go. The barriers act like invisible gutters and channels, guiding the water flow into specific paths and preventing it from spilling over edges where it should not go. That is actually really clever engineering. In real construction, roofs have gutters, downspouts, and drainage channels that control where rainwater goes. Banana Kid is doing the same thing but with invisible blocks. He is adjusting the barriers as the water flows, adding more invisible blocks in spots where water is escaping in unwanted directions. This is a process of testing and tweaking. Pour the water, see where it goes, add barriers where needed, and repeat until the flow pattern looks perfect. The end result is a house with actual flowing water streaming down from the roof in elegant controlled waterfalls. The combination of solid water block walls, a water block roof base, and real flowing water cascading over the edges creates this incredible layered water effect. The house looks like it is perpetually raining, but only on itself, in a beautiful decorative way. Now, he is pouring actual flowing water on top of the roof. Real water, not water blocks, the kind that actually flows and moves and cascades downward. The water hits the roof surface and starts spreading out, but the invisible barrier blocks contain it and guide it exactly where Banana Kid wants it to go. The water flows in controlled streams down specific sections of the roof, creating beautiful waterfalls cascading off the edges in a planned pattern rather than random chaos. Banana Kid is doing one final touch now, replacing a few dirt blocks on the ground right in front of the house entrance with lapis lazuli blocks. This creates a small lapis pathway or welcome mat leading up to the front door. It extends the blue color scheme from inside the house out onto the approach, connecting the interior and exterior visually. When visitors walk toward the house, they step onto lapis blocks that signal they are arriving at something special. It also prevents the entrance from looking like you are just walking from bare dirt directly into a fancy water house. The lapis transition block makes the entrance feel more intentional and designed. That is a small detail, but it shows Banana Kid is thinking about the complete experience of approaching and entering the build, not just the structure itself.
Ta-da! Yay!
did everyone run off to? Hey guys, what's that noise you're making?
Banana Kid and I are building a water house, JJ. Who did it better?
Oh, both of your buildings look great, but I think it's up to the audience to decide who did the best.
Yes, JJ, you're right. Maybe then you have comments on the construction of Banana Kid?
Yes, there are a couple of comments. Despite the fact that you built the roof of your house out of water, you made the house incredibly boring. It differs from the usual color.
I totally agree with you, JJ. Maybe you will build a water house?
Okay, then let's run to the place.
JJ, good luck to you. We'll wait in the house.
What?
Thanks, guys. Then I'm starting. Round 3. I am going to build something more ambitious than a simple house. I want to create a water castle, a multi-story fortress made entirely from water-themed materials. A castle has more visual impact than a regular house because of its height, its complexity, and its commanding presence on the landscape. Let me start by placing water blocks to outline the foundation walls. I am carefully planning the layout before I start building upward, because a castle needs a more complex footprint than a simple rectangular house. First, I want to establish a comfortable entrance at the front. The entryway needs to be wide and welcoming, befitting a castle that is meant to impress anyone who approaches it. I am placing the front wall sections with a gap for the main entrance, making sure the opening is proportional to the overall scale of the building. Then, I am working my way around the perimeter, placing the remaining wall foundations on all sides. The footprint is larger than what Mikey or Banana Kid built because a castle needs room for multiple floors, thick walls, and interior spaces that feel grand rather than cramped. Now, I am digging down one block underneath the entire castle interior, removing all the dirt blocks to create a recessed floor area. This technique lowers the interior floor relative to the outside ground level, which adds a small amount of extra headroom inside and creates that satisfying step-down feeling when you enter through the door. Once the dirt is cleared out, I am filling the entire recessed area with lapis lazuli blocks. Lapis lazuli creates a stunning deep blue floor surface that perfectly complements the water block walls. The rich blue of lapis has an almost liquid quality to it, especially when it catches light from nearby sources. Walking across a lapis floor inside a water block castle will feel like walking across the surface of a calm, deep ocean. Every material in this build reinforces the water theme, from the floor to the walls to eventually the roof. I am building up the walls now using water blocks, and I want these walls to look like a proper castle, not just a plain box. I am making the walls uneven and irregular on purpose, adding protruding sections and buttresses on every side. Real castles have towers, turrets, and wall sections that jut outward at various points. These protrusions serve both defensive and aesthetic purposes. In medieval castle architecture, protruding wall sections called bastions allowed defenders to see along the length of the wall and fire at attackers from multiple angles. In my water castle, these protrusions add visual complexity and make the silhouette look interesting from every direction. A flat-walled box does not look like a castle no matter how big it is, but add some irregular bumps and extensions, and suddenly it has that fortress character. On the right side, I am building a staircase leading up to a second-floor entrance. Having the main entrance on the second floor rather than ground level is another castle design feature. It forces visitors to climb stairs to reach the door, which historically made castles harder to assault and gave defenders the high ground advantage. At the entrance, I am placing a large door. A castle deserves a grand entrance, not a small single door like a cottage. The oversized door immediately communicates the scale and importance of the building. In some of the windows, I am inserting light blue stained glass panes. Not every window gets glass, because in castle design, some window openings were left as narrow slits for ventilation and for archers to fire through. The windows with glass look more refined and finished, while the open ones add variety and architectural interest. Along the edges and parapets of the castle, I am placing lapis lazuli fences. These fences serve as battlements or crenellations, the classic tooth-shaped wall tops that you see on every medieval castle. Lapis fences match the floor material and add a decorative blue accent along the roof line that ties the whole color scheme together. I am adding more height to the walls now using additional water blocks, building them up several more rows. The castle needs to be tall enough to accommodate multiple floors inside. Taller walls also make the castle look more imposing and dominant on the landscape. Height is one of the primary ways that castles project power and authority. The taller the walls, the more impressive the structure appears from a distance, and the harder it is to breach. Now, for the roof. And I want to spend some real time thinking about this, because the roof design can make or break a castle build. There are several approaches to roofing a structure like this, and each one creates a completely different visual effect. A flat roof is the simplest option, but it looks boring and unfinished on a castle. Flat roofs work fine for modern minimalist architecture, but for a medieval-inspired castle, they feel wrong because historical castles almost always had peaked or multi-tiered roofs. The flatness contradicts the verticality and grandeur that a castle should convey. A simple triangular gable roof like what Mikey built on his house is a step up from flat, but it still feels too plain and residential for a castle. Gable roofs are what you see on regular houses, cottages, and barns. They are practical and efficient at shedding rain, but they lack the complexity and drama that a castle roof demands. When you look at a castle, the roof should be one of the most visually striking elements, something that draws the eye upward and makes the building feel like it is reaching toward the sky. A basic triangle just does not achieve that level of visual impact. What I want is a multi-tiered stepped roof that creates a gradual transition upward. Think of it like a pyramid made of steps, where each level is slightly smaller than the one below it. This style of roof is common in grand historical buildings like pagodas, cathedrals, and palace towers. Each tier creates a horizontal ledge that breaks up the vertical surface and adds shadow lines that give the roof depth and dimension. The stepping effect also makes the roof look much more complex and labor-intensive than a simple peaked roof, which communicates wealth, power, and craftsmanship. In real architecture, multi-tiered roofs were a sign of prestige because they required more material and more skilled labor to build. am constructing this multi-tiered roof using a combination of water block stairs, and water block slabs. Full water blocks form the main mass of each tier. Water block stairs create angled transitions between tiers, adding diagonal lines that soften the harsh stepping between levels. And water block slabs provide half-height details that allow for finer adjustments in height transitions. By mixing these 3 block shapes, I can create a roof that has smooth, gradual slopes in some sections and crisp, defined steps in others. The interplay between full blocks, stairs, and slabs gives the roof surface a rich texture with varying depths and angles. At the very top, I am carefully arranging the blocks so that the final tier flows seamlessly into the base of the next floor above. Instead of the roof just ending with a flat top, it transitions smoothly upward, inviting the eye to continue following the structure higher. This smooth transition is key because in a multi-story building, each floor should feel connected to the ones above and below it, not like separate boxes stacked on top of each other. Now, I am going back to the right side of the castle to finish the external staircase. I am completing the stairs that lead up to the second floor entrance, adding any missing water blocks to fill gaps and make the staircase solid and complete. The stairs need to be wide enough to walk up comfortably, and every step needs to be the same height for consistency. Uneven stairs are not just ugly, they are a tripping hazard. In real architecture, building codes require every step in a staircase to be exactly the same height, because people's feet develop a rhythm when climbing stairs, and an unexpected change in step height breaks that rhythm and causes stumbles. I am also adding water blocks along the sides of the staircase to create walls or railings that prevent people from falling off the edge while climbing. I am continuing to build upward now, adding more floors to the castle. Each new floor follows the same pattern: walls made of water blocks, a multi-tiered roof transitioning to the next level, and the rooms getting progressively smaller as the building rises. This tapering effect, where each floor is slightly smaller than the one below, is a classic tower design principle. It creates a pyramidal silhouette that is structurally stable because the weight is concentrated at the base where the walls are thickest and widest. It also looks aesthetically pleasing because the narrowing profile draws the eye upward toward the peak. Each successive floor has a smaller footprint, so the rooms inside get more intimate and compact as you climb higher. The ground floor is the largest public space. The middle floors are medium-sized living quarters, and the top floors are small private chambers. This hierarchy of space, from large to small, from public to private, is how real castles and towers were organized historically. At the very top, I am placing lapis lazuli fences to crown the peak of the castle. These fences create a small decorative pinnacle at the summit. And on top of that, I am placing a flag made of blue wool. The flag flutters at the highest point of the castle, marking it as an occupied and claimed structure. Flags on castle towers served as identification in medieval times, showing which family or kingdom controlled the fortress. Blue wool matches the water theme and adds one final splash of color at the very top. Now, I need to build the interior infrastructure that makes this castle actually functional. I am constructing floors inside the castle using water blocks, creating flat platforms at each story level that divide the interior into separate rooms stacked on top of each other. Each floor sits at the height where the exterior walls transition between levels, so the interior divisions match the exterior architecture. Between floors, I am building a central column and attaching water block slabs to it in a spiraling pattern. This creates a spiral staircase that winds around the central pillar from the bottom floor to the very top. Spiral staircases were the standard way to move between floors in medieval castle towers. They take up very little floor space because they occupy just a small circular area around a center pole, leaving maximum room on each floor for actual living space. The water block slabs work perfectly for spiral stair treads because their half-height profile creates steps that are comfortable to walk up. I am going through the interior now, placing any blocks that are missing from the walls, sealing up gaps, and making sure every room is properly enclosed. I am also placing doors at the entrance points on each floor so that individual rooms can be closed off for privacy. Each floor is now a self-contained room with solid walls, a ceiling, a floor, access via the spiral staircase, and a door that can be opened and closed. The interior feels properly finished and livable rather than just a hollow shell. Time for furniture. I am placing a bed on the first floor, a nightstand next to it with a lamp on top for warm ambient lighting. Anvils with leaf blocks on top go in the corners, creating those decorative indoor plant arrangements that bring life and greenery into the blue water themed interior. A television goes on one wall for entertainment, and cabinets line another wall for storage. Moving up to the second floor, I am placing sofas to create a comfortable lounge area. This floor serves as the living room or social space of the castle, a place to relax and sit with friends. On the third floor, I am placing more sofas, creating another comfortable seating area. Having multiple furnished floors means every level of the castle has a purpose and a personality. The ground floor is the bedroom, the second floor is a lounge, and the third floor is another social space. Each room gets its own identity through the furniture choices, making the castle feel like a real lived-in home, rather than just an empty tower with stairs. All right, everyone, that wraps up today's builds. I hope you enjoyed all 3 rounds. Until next time, take care and keep building. Great! My water house is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
Wow, JJ, you got not just a water house, but a real castle.
Thank you, guys. I am very glad that you liked my building. Friends, be sure to write in the comments whose building you liked the most. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.